So this is a video on caring. As my standard disclaimer goes, pretty much any video, even that is not in the high conflict child custody category, comes from or is connected to those types of viewers, which are probably more than 95% of my viewership. In any event, the idea of caring and whether I think it's good. I think it is. It's good to care. I'm going to talk about individual parents caring. I'll even talk about judges caring. I think that it's a huge distraction, though, despite it being important, despite it being a good thing to talk about, is a lot of people just get stuck on that. They feel like nobody cares about their case, whether it's their attorney, whether it's their judge. Um, Probably what they really mean is they care a whole lot about their case, and these other participants don't care as much, or even maybe even not even 1/100th as much as they care. And that could be because they care very little, or it could be because you care a tremendous amount about your kid, which everyone's going to say, duh, of course you do. It's your kid. So here's why I think it's a distraction and it's kind of a problem for a lot of people is when people want to measure caring, sometimes they talk about winning, but other times they just talk about the level of attention they get. And in representing yourself, a lot of times people think about it as the amount of leeway that you get from a judge, the breaks that they cut you, and the special treatment that you get, because these are signs that they care a lot about you. Well, here's the problem about that kind of thinking is it's comparative. You're comparing yourself to sort of the standard model. Everybody else has to follow a certain set of rules to litigate their cases. And if you have to follow the same rules, then you don't feel special. You don't feel cared about much. You could have all these huge issues that matter a lot to you that are just summarily ignored by the judge and your attorney. And it drives you nuts. I get it because, as I mentioned earlier, it's your kids and you love the crap out of your kids. Many people will die for their kids, etc., etc. This is, of course, how I felt in the beginning, too. And I still care more about my child than anything else. But there's a difference between caring more about your child than anything else because your child is 99% of your attention and focus, and caring more about your child than anything else because your child is 51% of your focus. Believe it or not, that's still the most important thing in somebody's life, whether it's 51% or 99%. There is nothing more important because there's only 49% left. 49% of your attention and time is remaining. So if you take two people and one of them cares 51% about their kids and family, and the other one cares 99% about their kids and family, to the person who's 99%, it's like, I'm better because I devote my entire life to it. To the other person, it may be like, we both have prioritized our kids number one. You're just obsessive. And that, I think, that sort of thought, that latter thought that I gave you guys, is I think where a lot of the mentality comes from when it comes to judges and lawyers. And most likely it's because they're older. And naturally, as you get older, you start to figure out other things to do with your life. And when you're in your 20s, 23, 24, and you have a kid, you may just have that one thing that's super important to you. And it manifests in ways that aren't good. And I think just based on my observation, first off, my own growth over the years, because when I started litigating, I was 25 ish, and now 39. It's a long time that has passed. My case is completely and totally over. And I do remember the evolution of my mindset throughout my case and figuring out other things to do that were constructive, including finally getting my degree, which tripled my income at least, if not more, mainly because I was so poor back then. And obviously that manifested into an improvement in my child's life because more salary means better home, means more stuff, means better school, means better. It's just obvious. It's interesting how by caring a little bit less about your kids while simultaneously keeping them the number one most important thing in your life, you actually make their lives better. And then the other thing I was going to say, the sort of other side of the coin, the negative side of the obsessive coin, is I feel like a lot of times the people who do care 99% about their kids are the ones that are doing really bad things. Um, Helicoptering them, not letting them take any risks. I think that sometimes a lot of the alienation, what's the word I want to use? Compulsion comes from that. And I mean, in extreme cases, you have mental health issues that come from it. Certain mental health disorders that lead to enmeshment and all kinds of other dangerous things like Munchausen by proxy, which I think they have another name for now. In any event, I hope that this video puts this idea into perspective for a lot of you, that you can care more about your kids than anything else, but still have a whole lot of other things that you care a lot about that let you develop your skills and talents, that let you have a better life for your kids. And I hope that this makes a lot of sense to some people who might wonder why other parents who are obsessed about their kids are not really that good of parents and are having issues litigating these cases. They're unable to settle, they're unable to come to agreements. A lot of times they're obsessed with the idea of fairness, which, I mean, I guess this is an unpopular thing to say, but if you get stuck thinking about fairness all the time, you can very easily get completely stuck and paralyzed, whether it's in your real life or in your custody case, because that's all you think about. And you just want to right that wrong, and you just get stuck on that. I mean, a lot of what I talk about in the video, Overcoming Lies Moving Forward, is a big part of that sort of type of litigant that gets stuck on fairness. I kind of was one of them for a long time in the beginning. There's so many things that are easy to do wrong, and so many of those things don't even have to do with the court system. But once you're in the court system, they really mess with your head. Like, these are normal problems that people have in growth and development that cause issues with their relationships and their work, and their, if they have creative aspects in their life. And those same exact problems, you throw that person into a courtroom and it just completely cripples their ability to litigate. It's issues that have nothing to do with litigation, but once you're put into that environment, they really they rear their ugly heads. So the other thing I was going to talk about before I stop this video is judges and lawyers. A lot of times people get upset because they're paying thousands of dollars to their lawyer, and they should care as much about that money as they do, which, number one, is not going to happen, because most of the people who are paying for an attorney, $5,000 might be their entire monthly check, and for their attorney, it might be 2% of what they get in a month. So just mathematically speaking, you're going to care 100% of your month's rent worth, or your month's income worth, and they're going to care 2%, because that's literally 2% of their month's income. So really ugly thing for me to say, but there's another side to it that's actually probably going to get more people to understand what I'm talking about, and that is, you can only care so much. There's a certain limit to what you can only give so many things attention. And if you give one thing a lot of attention, it's always going to be to the detriment of everything else. So you might feel that you deserve the most attention because you care so much about your kids and the money that you spent is so much, but that lawyer has 25 other clients. And if they care a whole lot about you, if they give you half of their attention, then the other 24 clients are getting the other half divided amongst themselves. Same thing with the judge. Probably even worse. I mean, I don't know how many cases they have. I think I've thrown wild numbers out there before, like 2,000, which sounds nuts. I can't imagine how they could possibly do that. It's probably more like 500 or something like that. I hope it's not 2,000, because that is an insane number of cases for a single judge to do. Maybe somebody post down in the comments that yeah, it's about 2,000, Alex, in which case, how the hell can they do their job? Because that's like 2,000 divided by 365. I mean, it's how many cases per day? And I mean, you have to remove the weekends and the holidays because they have to go on break. They're not machines. In any event, it's the same problem. If a judge gives one person a whole lot of attention to care about that person, and all of their other cases languish, and some of those other kids suffer because they need the attention of the court, and they need court orders and stuff like that, you end up getting stuck thinking lawyers and judges don't care about you, and you don't realize that it's not so much a choice, it's just the situation of the reality of their jobs. And if you realize that caring more about you means caring less about all of the other people that they're helping, hopefully it brings into perspective why not only are you the one that's going to care the most about your case, but probably that's the way that it should be, just because everybody really deserves, some kind of level of attention from both the attorneys and judges. So, I mean, I guess that's just sort of getting people to understand that As important as your kids are to you, there's another 500, 600,000 other people who feel the exact same way about their kids. And these people that are part of this machine, this litigation machine that churn out orders so that people can figure out how to function and share custody of their kids, there's just a teeny tiny number of them and hundreds of thousands or millions of you guys. And it's just how it has to be because of math, I guess. Let's blame it on math. Everyone blames everything on math. You can't do anything about it, guys. It's just part of the problem that'll never go away. So I mean, there's other videos on my channel that talk about solutions, and there's other videos on my channel that help people help themselves, and these are all great and important videos. I didn't want to go too far into any of that stuff because I've already covered those topics. Just wanted to cover the concept of caring, how caring too much can sometimes cause problems in some of these cases, and I hope that this is one of those videos that puts things into perspective for all of you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.